Hello and welcome to another edition of the TimeFlies podcast. I'm your host, Dario. USA just finished beating Serbia in the semifinals, and now they go on to play France in the finals for the gold medal game. And man, there's so many different ways I can go to this episode. You got KD coming up big. You got Joel Embiid coming up big. You got LeBron James putting the team on his back. Low key, you got Devin Booker as one out of the five being out there in crunch time. And that was definitely interesting to me. And this game, man, this game came down to the wire. In the first half, Serbia played a masterful game. Serbia they slowed the game down. They wanted it to be methodical, and they took USA out of everything that they do very well. They took USA out of fast break points. They took USA out of body movement, out of ball movement, and Serbia made it a real slow down game. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Chef Curry himself. I believe he ended the game with 36 points. He had the first 14 of the 15 points of USA in the first quarter. He ended the first half with 20 points. He ended the game with 36 points, and he had key shots going down the stretch where if he didn't make that three-point shot or if he didn't hit that floater, then the game would have definitely gone away from the USA. Before I really dive into Joel Embiid really hitting some big shots, Devin Booker being out there as far as the five-man lineup in crunch time, I want to start in the first half. I want to go back to the starting five. So Steve Kerr started the game with Steph Curry at the one, Devin Booker at the two, Drew Holiday at the three, LeBron at the four, and Embiid at the five. There were moments in this game where I don't understand why Steve Kerr was playing certain players. Like Ant Edwards, he just wasn't ready. He's still a little too young. For as much as all the hype that we give Anthony Edwards as far as being the face of the league, and he's definitely going to be an MVP player coming up soon in the NBA season. As far as this moment, he's still what, 22, 23. So this moment, it just seemed like it was a little too big for him. He didn't really play because of foul trouble, but Steve Kerr had Anthony Edwards out there. He had Derek White out there. He had Bam Adebayo out there. Just players that I don't necessarily think he should have played. And now jumping to the second half, there was a five-man lineup where it was Steph, LeBron, KD, Embiid, and I think Booker was out there. And that lineup was really working. And for some reason, Steve Kerr was playing with the lineup, and I don't understand why he was doing that. In today's game, we should mention again that Jason Tatum did not play any minutes. And I don't know, I think it's a matchup thing because it was either in the exhibition game before the Olympics began against Serbia, or it was in the opening pool play against Serbia where Jason Tatum did not play. For some reason, Steve Kerr doesn't like the matchup between Jason Tatum and the Serbian team. I don't know exactly. I'm not on the coaching staff. But again, after today's game, after the USA was able to get away with this win, you better believe that the NBA media is going to be talking about that. And there's already a lot of conspiracy theories going around about Steve Kerr keeping Jason Tatum on the bench on purpose and Jaylen Brown not being part of the team on purpose. They're trying to break up this Boston Celtics dynasty that it looks like it could become. But that's a story for another day. Man, again, there's so many ways I can go with this episode. I do want to give props to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, I definitely got to take a moment out of this episode to give him all the love because if Joel Embiid, there was a little like 7-0 run, maybe in like late third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, or maybe even the middle of the fourth quarter. There was like a mini 7-0 run where Joel Embiid, he was just hitting shot after shot, being guarded by Joker. And for most of this Olympic play, including the exhibition games, I was giving Joel Embiid a lot of shit, telling everybody that he doesn't look healthy, he doesn't look ready, like he should have stayed at home this summer, getting ready for the upcoming season. He came up big, man. He came up big, hitting timely shots, and you could tell that he was animated. He had a really crucial block towards the end of the fourth quarter, really crucial block that kept the lead going. And I just want to give him love, man, because he definitely needed his play tonight. Something else that I noticed was the players, whenever it comes down to crunch time, you can tell who the players have faith in. You can tell who the players want to give the ball to. And I was surprised because during crunch time, they were actually looking for Joel Embiid. And obviously, like I've been saying, like I've been preaching throughout all these episodes, the exhibition play, the pool play, Joel Embiid just doesn't look healthy. He doesn't look right. But when the moments mattered, they were going towards Joel Embiid, which says something. It says something about Joel Embiid, and he came through for us. He came through for us in the clutch. Steph Curry ended the game with 36 points. He's a huge reason why we were able to pull out the win. But Joel Embiid, I definitely have to highlight that 7-0 run, which was masterful of him, which was crucially needed of him and for the USA team. I also want to talk about Devin Booker. Devin Booker, man, he is not going to get the praise. I don't think anybody's going to talk about him, especially in this game, because he didn't have high numbers. He didn't have the numbers that popped out. But the last 4 minutes of the game, you had a lineup of Steph at the one, Devin Booker at the two, Durant at the three, LeBron at the four, and Embiid at the five. If you go back to my previous episodes when I was talking about the whole Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards, like this looks like it's going to be a battle as far as like who's going to be the starting two. Devin Booker is the answer, man. Devin Booker, you can tell that he just wanted to do whatever it took to win. Devin Booker was playing defense extremely hard. He was picking up his man 94 feet. When Serbia was able to cross the half court mark, Devin Booker picked up his man all the way close to half court. Devin Booker just did what he needed to do in order for this team to get the win. So I definitely want to show love to Devin Booker, and it really surprised me that Devin Booker was out there during crunch time. Listen, man, Serbia had this game, man. Serbia had this game. They were up by close to 20 at one point, and then when USA started to make their comeback, Serbia just looked they just looked frazzled. They looked frazzled. They looked like they weren't ready for the moment, which I never understood. I never understood teams when they're playing against USA, why they always look a little frazzled whenever USA starts making the run if they go up on the USA. You know that USA has all the talent. You know the USA has all the depth. So you know they're going to make a run. So if I was one of the leaders of the team, just calm your team down, tell them to stick to the game plan, and we're fine. Bogdanovic looked like he was trying to do that. Jokic, it seemed like he was good, but towards the end of the game, looks like he was just gassed. And Serbia had this game, man. They had this game in the bag, but USA, they were just able to raise it to another level, and they came out with the victory. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I was hyped throughout the game. I wasn't sure that the USA was gonna pull out this victory. And if you tuned into my previous episodes, I've told you guys that I'm not confident in the USA coming home with the gold. Now, my reasons were because I feel like the team was depending on a little bit too much on Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steph Curry, and those three players are a little bit older now. They're not in their primes. And then we also have younger players like Anthony Edwards, like in today's game, it looked like he wasn't ready for the moment. We had Jason Tatum, who wasn't even able to get on the floor. We just had players that didn't really see this type of limelight and this type of pressure. Now, part of the reason why this game was a game even to begin with was the foul trouble. KD picked up two quick fouls. I believe LeBron picked up some fouls. Steph Curry, everybody was just in foul trouble. Now, you could blame that on the refs because Serbia, the flopping. The flopping was crazy in this game. But now we move on to the gold medal game against France. France beat Germany earlier today. I saw some of the highlights. Wembanyama doing Wembanyama things. But now we haven't seen France in the exhibition play. We haven't seen them in the pool play because they were not part of our group. So this is the first time I'm going to see France. France has a platoon of NBA players: Rudy Gobert, Wembanyama, Evan Fournier, Nicholas Batum, Frank Ntilikina. Like they have solid NBA players. And it's going to be very interesting to see what sort of game plan France comes up with against the US. So that game is 3:30 Eastern time on Saturday. So it's going to be around 12 o'clock my time. So tune into the Time Flies podcast because I will be coming out with an episode talking about the gold medal game. But going into the France game, I'm really interested to see how the US guards Wembanyama. I want to see if they're going to try and be very physical with him. I'm going to see if they're going to be doubling him. I don't really think they can double him because the France, they have a good enough players that can hit shots. Evan Fournier, obviously. They have another player, I forgot his name. His last name starts with a K. They have players that can hit shots, so I don't know if doubling Wembanyama is going to be such a good idea. So Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, they're going to have to go man up on Wembanyama. And of course, the Olympics are in France, so France is going to have the home team behind them. So that's going to be something else that we got to take into account. But it should be a really good game. And finally, we were able to get a game that we saw the USA being challenged. We were able to see who was going to step up to the plate. Joel Embiid, LeBron, KD, Steph Curry. Got to show love to Devin Booker again. They all came up to play when the moments mattered. And now we have one more game in the gold medal game against France. And I think that game's going to be tight as well. So we're going to see who comes up big in that gold medal game. And I'm not 100% confident that the USA is going to pull away with that win. I think it's going to be a real tight game going down to the stretch, and we'll see what happens. But until next time, guys, I'll check you on the next episode of the Time Flies podcast. Let's go, baby, USA.